So Trump has gotten his credit for the so-called peace deal in the Middle East that he's gotten. And so everything's good, everything's great. The killing has stopped, except not at all, as we'll get into. But Trump is like sort of jumping ahead of, I guess, maybe the peace prize he wants to get next year to make clear that no, this thing can go hot again, and he might even be involved. He posted this: if Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the capital D deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention to this matter. To be clear, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. So are those 200 troops that as part of this deal are gonna be stationed in Israel or in Gaza that totally aren't gonna be fighting? Don't worry, never have peacekeepers been sent to an area and then has that drawn a country into a hot war. It's literally never happened. Set that aside. Also, if Hamas kills people, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Now, he has gotten pushback on that, because remember, he's supposed to be the peace president or whatever, and said, no, somebody will go in, somebody will kill them. Sure, buddy, whatever. But anyway, he's implying there that if there is any issues with this peace plan, if there's any issues with the ceasefire, it's Hamas that's killing people. And look, I don't trust Hamas. I don't like Hamas. I am sure that they probably are doing terrible things. But there have been dozens of violations of this ceasefire already. And it ain't just Hamas that's doing it. A lot of people have continued to die on a daily basis in Gaza, and they're not members of the IDF that are being killed. A lot of Palestinian civilians have been gunned down in a very similar fashion to the way they were being killed before the supposed peace plan was laid out. And I don't know how that's consistent with peace. There has been some media coverage of these violations. I kind of feel like mainstream media either doesn't want to seem pessimistic or seem like they're being unfair to Donald Trump in his moment of triumph, but it hasn't risen to the level of like the highest level coverage. New York Times doesn't seem to be really acknowledging this. Now, Israel is accusing Hamas of violations of the deal, specifically saying they violated the ceasefire by failing to return the remains of deceased hostages. Hamas has apparently returned the last 20 surviving hostages, but handed back only 9 of 28 deceased captives, saying it needs specialist recovery equipment to retrieve the rest from the ruins of Gaza, saying they're basically beneath buildings, which is possibly true. It's also Hamas, it's possible they're lying, it's possible it's a combination of the two. And so Benjamin Netanyahu said on Thursday he was determined to ensure that the remains are handed over, adding the fight is not over yet, which I kind of feel like if you're in a peace plan, the fighting should be over yet. And I also said that this is the sort of thing, when I did my pessimistic monologue last week, this is exactly the sort of thing that could be used to justify further violence, and here it is. And maybe he's right, maybe Hamas is just they're being D-bags and not handing over the remains, or maybe Gaza has basically been bombed into nothingness and it is difficult to recover some of the bodies. Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle, I don't know. But a senior Hamas official has responded by saying at least 24 people had been killed in shootings since Friday, and said a list of such incidents had been handed over to mediators. Well, as a result of all this, Israel is now saying the amount of aid that they're gonna be transferring over is gonna be cut in half. And I wanna be very clear, the peace plan has no mechanism for the aid to be modified. Israel has no capacity inside of the peace plan to decide that we're just gonna cut the aid in half, or to shut down, like for instance, the Rafah crossing with Egypt. They said that they're gonna not open it up. The deal does not allow for that, to be very clear. They're just deciding that, I don't know, like Darth Vader on Cloud City, they can modify the deal if they want to, pray they don't modify it anymore. And as they're modifying it, people are still being gunned down in Gaza. And so the deal has not fully fallen apart yet. We still technically are in a ceasefire, but it's a ceasefire with quite a few asterisks after it, in my view. Brett, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Is where I'm at. Like, yeah, this is very complicated. It is, there was death for 2 years. And I can only in this, like, this is having a ceasefire agreement is better than not having a ceasefire agreement. Having a flawless ceasefire agreement is better than having a flawed ceasefire agreement. but it's been 2 years. I hope that it goes well. And this is really just an optimism pessimism test. I think people who exerted pressure for this long, that pressure is paying off. In a way, finally, that folks can be optimistic about, but it's still not certain.
Yeah.
So it's in this scenario where I'm sitting there, I see a lot of the effects of what's happened over the last 2 years in people's analysis of this situation. You got people who don't trust one side or other, right? That's still playing out. That should continue to play out because this is the real version of when people say you're at a standoff and they're just talking about like, over who gets the stapler in the office. Like this is the intense war level stuff that silly metaphors are based on, right? So this I hope it works out. I hope there is no more bloodshed. I am willing to say like, yeah, there's a lot of rubble in Gaza right now because of the sustained 2 years of bombing of Gaza. I wouldn't restart the fight over whether like you've gotten all the hostage bodies back because of that. I would extend a little bit of time and patience on that, harrowing though it may be, right? I hope that no one uses like little excuses in the grand scheme of things to restart an offensive that is offensive.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would say, why would you do that? That would be a disaster. My fear, and maybe this is the distrust that you're talking about, is that I think that there are a number of people and bodies that don't want peace at this point. They see more benefit from torpedoing this. And so that is my fear. That's
I'm equally. I don't trust Hamas and I don't trust Benjamin Netanyahu, but they're the ones in charge right now, and so I like handing the deal over to mediators who will then go about making sure that this tenuous peace doesn't unravel.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.